Sound, a group of vibration.
From the beginner to the professional, from the novice to the master, from playing and experimenting things to create a masterpiece. These are all the elements of art, and on this show, our art is sound. Hi, I'm L.V. Smith, host of the show Sounds Within, and I am glad that despite this pandemic, which is getting better, folks, it is getting better. It was good to bring back some people who I met before the pandemic to find out what they're doing. So I thought I'd go scratch back and get a guy. I'm just enthralled with his material. I'm speaking of Curt Allen, who's a big hit at times at that Roar Room open mic, which is supposed to be opening back, folks, for those who like to check out things there. Yeah, love it. So we got Curt Allen back. Hey, Curt, how you doing?
Hi, LV. How's it going?
It's been too long.
Yeah.
It's been way too long. So we all know who you are and what your personal life is, but let's find out, what have you been doing during this pandemic?
Well, a lot of things like hiking. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. So we got
5-year-old?
Yeah, 5-year-old, yeah.
Time's one. Yeah,
it goes too fast, doesn't it?
Blink of an eye.
Yeah. So we've been doing a lot of things like hiking and bicycling. Around the beginning of the pandemic, or a little earlier, she learned how to ride a bike with no training wheels. And then, we go maybe around 10 miles from time to time, or up these big mountain hills, dirt roads, and down them, that sort of thing. Got this trailer with the 2 kids can fit back there, and I can port them around, which is a decent exercise, or it feels that way anyway.
It is, especially when they're growing.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of that. Just enjoying all that extra time with my friends, really. And it hasn't actually been too bad. I worked from home for a while, and then that job didn't work with the pandemic, so I ended up with sort of extra time. I actually appreciate the way that turned out, though, because of all the time that I got to do what I wanted to do, and in a lucky situation where it was not too difficult to deal with unemployment. So
I understand. Getting back to that bicycler, he hasn't started motocross yet.
No, but she saw a video on YouTube, and I think as soon as she has the opportunity, I'm sure she's going to want to do that.
Pretty much add some representation and diversity to the sport. That's great.
Yeah. If she wants to do it, then we'll get the helmets and whatever we can to make it as safe as possible, and see how it goes. Yeah, see how it goes.
Yeah, and so you've been able to hang out with some friends, and despite the employment thing, it's kind of messy, but it's getting better. So I'm sure you will be back with both feet on the ground, then running.
Yeah, I also just remembered this is a show featuring music and sound. I was able to spend some time finishing up some of my songs, the production versions of them, and put them on Spotify. So I got a lot of time to sort of focus on what I wanted to do, which is a silver lining, to say the least.
Yes, especially I know you're a superb guitar player, so you've been investing time in other instruments.
Yeah, I actually started out playing the drums, and one of my friends actually found a drum set on the side of the road and brought it to me. So I got great
friends.
Yeah, I sure do. I got me a drum set in my garage now, and then I got all into this YouTube channel bassist guy, and
which one?
I actually Davey 504.
Okay.
He's an Italian YouTuber from quite a long time ago. I think one of the most popular channels on YouTube. And boy, is he brilliant on the bass. So I took a little inspiration from him, and kind of learn the basics of slap bass and finger picking bassing.
Ooh, yeah.
I can't say I'm good yet, but I'm working on it.
You're probably, way you sound like you probably passed me. And I suppose
I
I'm going to
doubt
throw a
that.
name out for you who has a great plethora of lessons. And he's synonymous, particularly for authoring the Laurel Canyon sound. And I'm speaking of Leyland Sklar.
Okay.
Yeah, he played with James Taylor, Carole King. He played with
Oh,
everybody,
nice.
with Phil Collins, monster basses. He's synonymous for looking with his big beard and bald. He looks like a big gnome walking around, but he
Okay.
is world-class bassist. One, I'm just going to try to get him on my show.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to send me that name because I surely will forget it.
Once you watch him, you won't forget him.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Okay. Speaking of songs, what you say you've been working on, what are you going to offer us?
Yeah, so I think the first song that I'll do is called Take a Moment. This is actually inspired by some of those trips into the mountains with my little girl and
Ooh.
watching her zip down the mountain trails and things like that, going many of the things that we did during the pandemic. So going out to the ocean and things like that. The song basically is about that bittersweetness, about that, watching somebody become their own self, as well as just an appreciation for life and all of the beautiful things, nature and everything that's around us, and the bittersweetness that's in that, because this doesn't last forever. So it makes it all the more precious.
Family time is extremely precious.
Yeah, no doubt.
So let's hear Curt Allen presenting to us Take a Moment.
I'm Curt Allen, and this is Take a Moment. Take the train up to the old road. Take the path back past the trees. Climb the stones to the overlook. Feel the mountain breeze. And as you glide between the earth and sky, and as you look out to the shore, take a moment to take it all in, 'cause that's what we're here for. I'm feeling fine while we're taking our time, till I can't take it anymore. To see you smile while you're flying away, I couldn't ask for any more. Hand to hand against the ocean and digging in against the waves. Maybe Neptune calls them current events, a distance closing every day. Before I sink into the atmosphere, before I reach out to the stars, I'll take a moment to take it all in. On my collision course,
I don't, but I hope, I hope, I hope to see you smiling, crying, flying again. I couldn't ask for any more. I take my time, try to take you all in, 'cause that's what I'm here for. I'll take my time, try to take it all in, till I can't take anymore.
This is David, this is Teresa, and this is Elias. Next time I'm watching the Royal Channel, I'll be sure to watch Anybody Can Play Guitar.
Hart, what's going on?
I'm leaving.
Why? What did I do?
Not enough. The pressure's too much. I quit.
I get it. I can do better. Just please don't leave.
Don't let your heart quit on you. Get your uncontrolled high blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late.
Take a moment. Take a moment. Listen, folks. This song speaks about cherish each moment. You never know when it will end. Sometimes it's going to end for good. So cherish that moment. Take a moment. By Curt Allen. It's so good to hear that. Now, let's get back to Curt. We were talking about what he was doing to survive the pandemic. Now, what are you doing these days?
A little more of the same. I go on a lot of bike rides, try to get the exercise in, work on my music. As a matter of fact, that song "Take a Moment" I just wrote a few days ago.
Wow.
Yeah, sort of in preparation for this show. As a matter of fact, I was thinking I want something a little upbeat. You know, I kind of had this idea of how I wanted the songs to flow. I also started learning a bit of piano as well as bass that I mentioned before. So I'm trying, man, sheet music, they have that joke about how to get a guitarist to stop playing. I hate to say it's a bit, you put sheet music in front of them. Yeah, so sheet music has been my nemesis for quite a long time, but I'm working on that too. I got okay at doing chords and doing a little bit of the embellishment type stuff.
Sweet.
But yeah, so I've been enjoying that. I also I took to learning a little bit more on the jazz side of guitar, a little bit more of soloing. I got myself one of these loopers.
Yes.
So I can make a nice little backing track and then do solos over them. So trying to do a little more like, like John Mayer is probably the really popular guy who can just do these rhythm / solo type things that are so beautiful. So, with that as a sort of inspiration, working on developing those sorts of skills. So yeah, I feel very lucky that I was able to focus on so much on expanding my musical horizons, as well as getting exercise. That formerly I worked in IT. It was a lot of sitting and staring at a screen. I didn't have a lot of time for exercise, so I just tried to have salad for lunch or something like that. Try to keep balance somehow.
Lifestyle, I get it.
Yeah.
You mentioned John Mayer. I happen to be one of his fans as well, and so I take it he's one of your mentors.
Yeah, I'm not extremely deep into John Mayer, but I did recently sort of start listening to, again, expanding my musical horizons in terms of what I was listening to as well. So John Mayer was one of those. I listened to that album a few times, and I found especially the guitar playing, his guitar playing is so beautiful and unique that I found a lot of inspiration there to try to develop something in that vein. And then Yeah, so another artist I found recently is called Jason Isbell. He's a country singer, and so
Yes.
that I was listening to a lot of that, and that's when I made that song "Take a Moment," which is kind of this country bluegrass
Yes.
style. Yeah. So yeah, and then maybe a little more earlier in the pandemic, I was enjoying some hip hop artists I found recently. So Pharoah Monch and Joyner Lucas are a couple of my favorites there. And man, so many. And all going back to my favorites, Bright Eye's a big favorite of mine. Damian Rice, Elliott Smith, a lot of these sort of alternative rock that like really
Yes.
dig in emotionally.
Yes.
I think that's what I like about Joyner and Pharoah Monch too, is they kind of dig into the emotional side in their music, and something that I feel like I can connect with.
So you strike me as someone who likes to expand horizon sound, not just stay one little box and say that's it and there's no other kind of music or I'm not open. You tend to reach out and just say, hey, I want a little bit of this, I want a little bit of that, I want a little bit of whatever. And sort of make your own salad. Just sneaking little bacon bits or something like that. Just
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
yes.
I really love mixed genre. So there's actually one of my favorite bands is called the Mad Caddies. They're a mix of ska and punk and Dixieland jazz.
Yes.
And it's they're a brilliant just combination of those things that kind of go back and forth in the middle of one song. So hard punk and then a little ska reggae type of thing, and then it's to the Dixieland jazz, and the way that they mix all that together and the flow of it is it's incredible, and it certainly isn't boring.
No.
Yeah.
I love groups that tend to favor that. A lot of times there's a lot of static comes up or saying, well, why do you listen this or have part of that? And I just say, don't you get tired of listening to the same old stuff, the same old way,
Right.
And it's like what is currently known as Dixieland was called New Orleans.
Yeah, sure.
The source. But I just say, you know what? Well, this one guy had a show, and it was called Heartfelt Music, which is another form of singer-songwriter, underground country. And I just fell in love with that show. I just said, I'm not supposed to, but you know what? It's heartfelt. So I know exactly what you're saying there.
Right, yeah. Yeah, something from within. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been expanding that for your writing, pretty much, to expand it.
Yeah, I guess I didn't necessarily see it that way, but I mean, another way to look at it is I just kind of got bored with all the things, like you were saying, with all the things that I had been listening to. I mean, I'll always go back to my favorites, but I need to, get something new, something to be. Maybe it is looking for inspiration, or maybe it isn't. I'm not exactly sure, but one of my friends is the one who recently introduced me to Jason Isbell, and that really grabbed me.
Yes.
So sometimes it's just a random happenstance like that.
I get it. Well, let's get in here another inspirational song by Curt Allen. What are you going to offer us?
All right, yeah. So this one is called "The Stage," and this one is like, I feel like I spent a lot of my life trying to be a likable person in a certain way to basically any person that I met. And what I came to realize is that if you're not sort of true to yourself, you're actually never going to feel liked or feel loved, because the people are only going to see a character that you created and not your actual self. Then you can never, it's a kind of contradiction that you want to be likable. It makes you not feel liked. So this is sort of a song about coming to terms with being yourself and showing yourself to others.
The stage, huh?
The stage.
We're all on a stage. Well, let's hear Curt Allen present The Stage.
How everyone praises the part that you play as they sit and they stare at the stage. And when you're all done, the curtain comes down and they stand and applaud for no one. Well, honestly, did you ever such a take, such honesty from a story we all know is fake. He sure likes to stay out late. When morning comes around, there's a smile and a frown. Well, his acting's not up for debate. And honestly, did you ever see such a take, such honesty from a story we all know is fake? Love, 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 love. Is that the only thing you think of? You say you'd wise up if someone could just pin you down. But honestly, such naivety
Hey, it's Amin L. And Thursday night is live with Jeff Hodge. Come on down and check him out.
According to the medical profession, black garlic helps to repair skin damage. It contains twice the antioxidants as regular garlic, and it restores skin cells damaged by aging process. Sunflower seed butter is rich and it has unsaturated fat acids. Use it instead of peanut butter and you'll be surprised. And you can compare that peanut butter with some apples or celery and it gives you the optimum benefit. Salmon has high omega-3 contents, making it the go-to fish for a healthy skin. Sweet potatoes, peppers, almonds, and all foods are high in vitamin A, C, and E. They are also rich in antioxidants that combat damages and free radicals that occur in your skin.
We're The Reactions, and you're watching the Arroyo channel.
Oh, the stage. I'm going to say something about that stage there. Some of us are players just to try to appease. And what you said there, Curt Allen, of that song, the stage is that you don't dig yourself, no one will dig you. So dig thyself.
Something like that.
Dig thyself. And yeah, that says a lot. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, sure. I think it's one of the ironies of this of being a musician and a performer that you know, I'm saying here that you're gonna have a better experience if you're honest with yourself, but when you're creating a song or creating a performance, what you actually are doing is kind of a dishonest performance. You know, in a way it's a lie, and then you're hoping that connects with people on some kind of true level. And I love that contradiction that's in that idea.
You open up a can of worms there for discussion. Is it really a lie, or is this a part of you just never shared that part of you before that's been suppressed?
Yeah, or it's like the stories that get at truths that true stories or stories based purely on experience just can't convey in the same way. So yeah, again, I think, you know, there are truths that can be conveyed through stories that aren't based in the realities of what happened, but can convey some kind of truths that are more real than just relaying experiences.
Yeah, sort of like being a wannabe. You realize you ain't a wannabe, and everybody known you as a wannabe. And then you find out, oh, this is what I am. And they say, well, that's not important. And you say, well, I am, and I'm not ashamed. That's one thing I like about old Jimmy Swaggart. He was sleazy, but he said one thing. When he came out being discovered as sleazy, he says, I am not ashamed, and I embellished that. So
yeah,
I just had to get that.
Sure, yeah, sounds like a good perspective.
Okay, we're going to get into the future of things there, Curt. So what are your plans?
Yeah, so I've got quite a few songs now, sort of in the box, as they say in the editing lingo, that I'm working on. So those will probably, as I finish them, they'll probably appear on Spotify and YouTube and things like that. I now have enough songs together, or am close, that I'm thinking about trying to record like a studio album, you know, sort of a release. So it's probably not going to happen this year, but maybe in a year or so I'm going to want to get that started. So I'm just planning out how that might go. Yeah, and you know, I'm going to continue to try to get my bass chops up, my piano chops, and see if I can put that to use, you know, when you're not there at the Roar Room, or when our friend Dale isn't there for the piano.
No, we all be there. It's just, you don't know how bad we've been itching. I'm surprised that you're not going to be collaborating with other musicians. And then I got to get my chops up. But you want to say, oh, LV, I got better chops than that. Thanks anyway. So I said,
No, I'm saying, you know, until July, until you can make it up there. You know, if they're in need of a bass player, maybe I can do that. You know, just for the moment. But no, collaboration. I definitely love to collaborate. I'll go to the Roar Room as soon as I can. I got my vaccination, so myself, I feel pretty comfortable.
Being a responsible father, I know
yeah,
you.
And everybody that's in my orbit, pretty much that we still keep it kind of not too crowded. But okay. Is also vaccinated. So myself, I would feel comfortable enough as soon as they open up the open mic to go up there. Love to collaborate with you and everyone else up there. And as I'm looking to make a studio album, I think I probably am going to want to either find some friends or hire some musicians to do some of the other parts, because it's too much for me to do literally every part. Is something else that I've realized recently. it's
I don't know. You
work.
may be the next Stevie Winwood or Stevie Wonder. I mean, they do great self bands, and I think Gary Wright was another one, or is. But no, you're a very talented musician. Now, do you collaborate with others besides the Roar Room crowd?
When I can, I met a couple musicians, so I know I met somebody who's a cellist. I thought that would be pretty cool to mix in. Actually, Damian Rice has a cello in many of his songs. Cello and acoustic guitar sounds beautiful. So it's something I'd like to play around with. Another one of my friends, in fact, as a matter of fact, he bought the guitar that we just saw in the stage for my birthday.
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful Gretsch. So he's picked up the trumpet recently. So once in a while we jam on some blues or jazz type tunes. Yeah, I do it when I can. During the pandemic, that's been extra challenging. But yeah, the place where I get to meet other musicians the most is probably at the Row Room, at that open mic. But yeah, now I got the drum set in my garage. So, you know, if a couple people want to come over and squeeze into the garage with their amps and guitars, we maybe can make that work.
Don't be careful what you wish for or invite. Now, getting near to that horrible thing called time, how can we get in touch with you?
Yeah, probably the easiest way is to go to curtallenmusic.com, or you can look up Curt Allen on Facebook. It's also facebook.com/CurtAllenMusic. If you look up Curt Allen on YouTube, I'm maybe four or five links down. And Spotify as well. Look for a beautiful painting that my friend Keiko did of a woman looking up at the stars. That Curt Allen is me. There's only a couple others, so if you want to get in touch, those are probably the best ways.
Well, with that being said, time is too short. We need you to help take us out. What are you going to offer us?
Yeah, so this one is called All the Time. And so many musicians and other artists, I think we often deal with things like depression and addiction, and there's maybe a temptation to succumb to those things. So this is like it's a couple stories about times when I found myself sort of on that road, and I hope that it speaks to someone or someone's who can you know, see. It's sort of about how I made it through those, just that I made it through, really, and I'm hoping that can connect with people who might need to hear that.
Truly inspiration. Truly an inspiration. So I'm going to let you announce that song one more time, and we hope to see you all back in YouTube, Curt, at Sounds Within very soon.
I hope so too.
What are you going to take us out again, Curt?
This one's called All the Time.
All the Time with Curt Allen. Folks, see you soon. Peace.
Peace.
There, it's nice to see you. How you doing? What's going on? Funny, it's been ages, but it doesn't feel that long. Well, I had a few things that were on my mind, so I hope you got some time. I might lose my place, just don't look at my face. I want this to come out right. You know my heart flew away on an airplane. I vowed to never say goodbye, and I'm starting to think fate made a mistake. I wanna break out of this lie, and I don't want to, but I'ma tell the truth. I think about it all the time, but I promised myself, and I promised myself, I promised that I wouldn't cry. Through, got a 4-track and a guitar, another girl to kiss, then and miss, taking shots in the dark. A song to sing, it's embarrassing. I guess I needed it at the time. And I felt a little better as the weather got wetter. Maybe it moisturized my eyes. Inspiration fell, coming back from hell. Somehow he landed in the sky. And I started to think they made a mistake. I wanna break out of this life. And I don't want to, but I'ma tell the truth. I think about it all the time. But I promised myself, and I promised myself, promised that I wouldn't cry. Thinking about you, doing what you do every day and every night. And I'm starting to think they don't make a mistake and you'll break out of this life. Well, I hope you don't, but if you go, I want you to know I'll be alright. 'Cause I'll promise myself, and I'll promise myself, don't want to, but I'ma tell the truth. I think about you all the time. And I promise myself, and I promise myself, hey, not too bad.
Hey, I'm James.
Hi, I'm Aaron.
Hi, I'm Anna.
I'm Jasper.
And together, we're Anna Lee and the Authorities. Come check out Elvie Smith's show on The Sound Within.
Hello, we're the group Alice, and you're watching the Arroyo Channel. Stay tuned.